let me just pull up your account here. I saw you mentioned that was there an issue with a couple transfers last week? ISA team let me know that. I think maybe you sent in an email or a message. I want to clear that stuff up with you on this call today.
Okay.
Cool. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like there's a credit there.
So I think, I think the conversation is, and I'm sure we'll get to that, is let's look at the ads. We're running some ads in other markets like California and Washington, but California has a Meridian. I don't know if Washington is a city named Meridian. And so the ads are, hey, get out of LA, move to Meridian. And people are like, oh, yeah. And then when you get them on the phone, it's like, oh, yeah, I want to move. And I'm like, have you ever been to Idaho before? No. Are you moving to Idaho? No. And it's like, oh, okay, well. So I think our marketing needs to shift just a little bit.
Yep, 100%. Okay, I remember sending you a video on that now. Okay, yeah, let me pull that up for you. That's such a, like kind of what are the odds of that type of thing?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
And then there was kind of a drought there from September 18th to October 1st. And then there was kind of a drought between the 5th and the 17th. So I think that's all probably just marketing and ads.
Yeah, typically we see live transfers are directly correlated to kind of lead volume for the most part. So let me check your ads here. So looks like we turned off the California stuff. So let's see.
And I don't know that we need to turn it off. I mean, I'd like to, we have a lot of feeder communities in California that are coming here, but the advertising has to be just right? It's got to be more of a escape to Idaho or escape to Boise versus.
Yeah, we can easily just change the wording instead of Meridian to Boise or something. Let's see. So
and then I'm always curious as to what ads are doing well and which ads aren't, and let's look at that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Let me just go ahead and screen share for you here real quick. Can you see my screen here?
Can.
Okay, perfect. So looks like we have just this campaign up here running right now. If we come here, we can see that we're testing a narrow and broad ad set, which is going to have a bunch of different things under it. So anything from home starting at price point, the community stuff, the 55 plus community stuff that you wanted to run. I think we're advertising your listing, as well as basically a bunch of the relocation stuff here, which is right now we just have Seattle turned on because we turned off the California stuff. And so right now we have these ads running. And so if I select last 30 days, lowest to highest, we got a 55 plus community one that's got a 17-cent lead, which is obviously a great start. That's going to go up most likely, but it's only spent 17 cents so far, and looks like it's already got a lead on that, which is pretty cool to see. We have the listing has leads coming in at $2.13. So this is what this ad looks like here.
Yeah,
this is that listing.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So those two are doing really well, or at least having hot starts. It looks like they don't have much data on them, so the team probably just started running a new test for those. We have the relocation from Seattle. Oh, that one's turned off because it's breached above the $5 cost per lead, which is pretty much where we typically want to stay under. And it looks like a lot of this stuff that we have on doesn't have much data because it looks like the team just started a new test for it. So you can see a lot of this stuff hasn't spent any money yet. So this is the new test that we're doing. So not a lot of data in the door quite yet. They probably just started this on either Monday or the day before. Maybe edited on Friday if I had to guess. So that's that. But if we go back to we can select both these campaigns and maybe just do a maximum look here instead of last 30 days. We can kind of see why they would have done that. So let's go to ads, sort lowest to highest. We can see a $4 one here for downsizing. Get both those campaigns selected, everything. Now go here. Okay, perfect. For $5, we had that relocation from San Francisco. So that's probably where a lot of that volume was coming from. Is Meridian close to San Francisco, or where is that on a map? I don't even.
Meridian, California. I don't know.
Let's see here. So San Francisco's right here. Yeah, so I guess maybe a decent amount of people know. How far is that measured distance? It's 100 miles. Dang,
Oh.
that's a really small town. I'm surprised people even know.
So definitely quiet living in Meridian, Meridian, California, right?
Yeah, this is a street view. So yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
the ads are accurate, but
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily say Meridian, Idaho. It just says Meridian, and so people may be like, oh, yeah.
right. Yeah, it seems like a pretty neat town though. I mean, I guess definitely quiet. Okay, so yeah, that I can tell the team, because this was one of the top performers. I think we'll want to turn it back on. We can just do a simple edit. So here on the ad, we have leave San Francisco, live Meridian. We can literally just change that to Boise, and it'll probably be fine. Step out of the
And maybe a
condition.
Boise ID, right? Boise,
Yeah,
Idaho.
yeah, we can do that. So, and then what I want to do is maybe even make this 2 lines, because this looks small. This headline's small, so I'll maybe tell them to bring it to 2 lines. Leave San Francisco, live Boise ID, and then prices starting at. That's always good for the relocation ads. We always like to add a prices starting at, so you don't get unrealistic people looking, especially people coming from California. They're just going to be a lot more distorted to prices and stuff along those lines. So yeah, we can easily just turn this back on and just change that. I will be interested to see if it continues doing well, if it does better, or if it does worse, or if it kind of stays at a baseline, because there's maybe a little bit of misunderstanding there. But we can turn that back on. Other than that, we have a ton of data coming. I mean, just from all the other ads as well. We've just tested so much stuff, 36 ads at this point. And so whatever the media buyer launched either on Friday or this morning is probably based on all that data, which is going to drive cost per lead down in this second campaign. We just launched that 9/24, and so about 30 days ago. Let's see. Is this off? That's off. Maximum. Yeah, 0 spent, 0 spent. 59 cents spent. Yeah, so we're going to want to get some more data to that stuff. Let's see, what's 8, 1, 3, 1 broad, 12, 4. Okay, yeah. So it looks like kind of the rest of those ads should get some data rolling in the door here. I think after this campaign goes through its full realm of testing, we'll have a really good idea of kind of what we want to go all in on. Kind of how we do our strategy, to give you a bit of an idea, is we basically are just loading up a ton of creatives into the account. And then as soon as it gets over our target cost per acquisition or cost per lead, we're basically just turning the ad off. And then what it's going to do is it's going to allocate it to the other ads in the ad set. And basically, anytime an ad breaches over a cost per lead that we don't like, which is usually going to be around $4 to $5, we toggle it off, and then it'll allocate that spend to the rest of the ads. So we can see basically like these ads that have no data, essentially like 0, 0, 0, 0, all these are blank. Those are going to be the ads where we've toggled the ads off and that spend hasn't got there quite yet. And so we want to make sure and get a good actual campaign of testing and data through. We want to make sure that those all get some attention as well. And then kind of after that second round of testing, typically the first round, we're just checking to see if narrow or broad works better. I might have covered this with you, but narrow, we're basically telling the platforms like who we want, people interested in Zillow, pre-qualification, realtor.com. We're being a lot more specific on the placements. We do Instagram feed, Facebook marketplace. Broad, we're basically just letting Facebook do its own thing. We're saying, hey, you do whatever you want. And so the first campaign, we're usually testing that. Once we figure out what does better, whether it be narrow or broad, the second campaign, we're usually going in and testing all the ads that did good from the first campaign on the winning targeting mechanism. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. And then really just dialing in and finding those winners. It's just a big kind of data fest of kind of just trying to see, what's doing well and what's not doing well. Just a really cool thing. It's a little bit nerdy, but once you've tested so much stuff, it's really just cool to come in and be like, okay, out of all of this testing and data we've done, I mean, clearly, if we sort by, let's call it click-through rate, which is going to be the amount of people that actually click on the ads, which means the offer is typically going to be the most appealing. We can see narrow LA, broad San Francisco, narrow San Francisco. So it's very clear that San Francisco and LA are at the top of the boards, regardless of their targeting mechanism. And so it's like when we see stuff like this, it's kind of a clear indicator of like, okay, this stuff is clearly getting the highest click-through rates. And so there's obviously a ton of opportunity there. And we can see Seattle's all the way at the bottom. So it's like, okay, well, based on all that data, we're looking at 5,700, 4,300 impressions, which is a decent amount of data. Seattle is on the lower end of the spectrum. So it's like, well, if we're getting a ton of recognition up here, it just makes sense to, either toggle those off and, kind of do one or the other. And so we're looking at kind of all this data to get collected. And then same on the ad side of things. When we come to the ads, we can look at, what had the highest click-through rate. Here we have a downsizing one, listing, downsizing. So it's like, okay, what are the odds that in the top 4, there's 3 downsizing? Clearly there's something there, right, that we need to kind of pay attention to. Clearly there's demand in the market, whatever it may be. Home starting at price point. Again, LA is close to the top there. And then ultimately at the end of the day, we're looking at cost per result. And we can see here the highest click-through rates typically look at really low cost per results at the end of the day. So we can see your listing, the downsizing. So it's really just all about collecting that data so that when we kind of make that third campaign, we can just kind of hit it out of the park and really already have a general overall idea. Does all that kind of make sense?
Yeah. Are we doing any listing ads at all?
Yeah. So this one's on right now.
I mean, maybe not listing. So it seems like we're targeting a lot of buyers, like, hey, come buy. Are we targeting any sellers?
Let me see if we've ran any home eval or cash offer or seller guide ads.
I know
home evaluation.
I know that's more of a local thing, but
yeah. Let's see. So we have tested home evaluation. Let's see how they're probably going to be in these ad sets here. So broad, narrow, broad. Home evaluation. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, so we do have some home evaluation stuff we've tested. This home evaluation ad is off. It spent $36. We didn't get anything. This home evaluation ad is off. It spent $13, didn't get anything. CTRs are also super, super low. This home evaluation, $27. CTRs, again, super, super low. 10 link click-throughs, which means 10 people actually clicked the link and never ended up filling out the ad, which is not really good at all. Like we really want to be kind of hovering around like a 20% here. Our average is about 15% of people that actually click the link ever actually fill out the form and become a lead. We've tested some home evaluation stuff. We can go at different angles. Let's see if any of them have gotten. Yeah, so this one did home evaluation. This one actually spent $9, got a lead. And I think we're just seeing a lot more data leaning towards buyers who are capitalizing on it. We do have some data where, sellers can, we clearly got a lead here for $9. So we can lean into that a little bit more if you wanted to. That's definitely not a problem at all. We can lean into trying to get some more sellers and testing some more offers, whether it be, we just did home evaluation because that's like the easiest. That's the most like looky-loo offer. And so typically if that does bad in the market, we know like, okay, well, cash offer is not going to do good. Seller's guide's not going to do good. CMA or, housing market report's not going to do good because that's usually the easiest one. That'll usually do the best. It kind of just depends on what you'd want. If you want to go in and try to test a little bit more and see if you can get more sellers in the door because you want to be speaking to those type of people, we can. But it does kind of look like it's just kind of veering away from that.
Let's pause that for a minute then. Let's revisit that maybe at another time.
Yeah, we can definitely revisit it. Like that's the amazing thing about doing your own lead gen is like at the end of the day, you get to pick and choose, you know, the type of people you want to be getting in the funnel. Right now, we're seeing your listing ad is crushing it, downsizers, and then the San Francisco and LA people were doing really, really well, but we paused that because of the Meridian issue, but we can easily just change that up. And then I'll be interested to see if when we change that headline text, if it stays at a baseline and keeps performing, or if it kind of tanks a little bit, because I can't imagine a lot of people were thinking of the Meridian in California, because I mean, Meridian, PA population. Yeah, I mean, it's a town of 386 people. I assume most people were thinking your market, but I guess we won't know until we change it.
Yeah, all I can tell you is the one phone call that we got the live transfer, I had no idea it was Idaho. Like, I've never been there, don't know that I'm moving there. And then some of the comments I got on the Facebook
the post.
Were like, I wouldn't move to Meridian, California. You know, that's a $200,000 house or something. So
interesting. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's helpful. I assume we'll switch it up and we'll just compare the data. What's pretty cool is we'll be able to look at them side by side and just see. We'll let a little more data come through these ads, and then we'll launch a campaign 3 probably at the end of this month here, with all of the data. As you can kind of see how it works, is like usually each campaign just does better and better. So if we look at our numbers here and we sort by maximum, we can see the first campaign we ran, we had an average of $10 per lead. The second campaign's at $6.73 per lead. And usually, because you're just going based off raw data and logic, you really just start getting that down. Every campaign, you usually start being able to get that down a good, you do hit a point where it's like, okay, maybe we've reached our maximum potential, but this $6 number, there's still a good $2 to $3 we can shave off of that, and that will be the goal on the next campaign. And I'll let our media buyer know that we want to test the LA and San Francisco stuff again and just change the name.
So I am going out of town. I'm going to be out of country October 25th through November 3rd.
Oh, okay, nice. Where are you going?
We're going to New Zealand.
Oh, nice. Wow. Let me see.
I don't know,
in Indonesia.
between the time change difference and being there for our daughter's wedding, I don't know that live transfers make a lot of sense. So do you want me to pass those? Do you want me to give you a name of another agent that we can pass those to? Or should we, I don't know if you can, I mean, I don't know what you do in that scenario.
Yeah, typically what we do, just because, we're pretty much just on like the leads time frame and stuff along those lines. What would be best is, you can just give us another agent. We can also too, we could pause the ads in that time frame, which by default will lower the amount of transfers you get. Because typically we see the amount of live transfers is usually based on new leads in, which is just new, fresh opportunities. So we could, one of two things. You could keep it running, just put another agent on board that wants the calls, or we could turn your ads down and put another agent on that wants the calls, or just turn your ads down. But we don't have like just a general overall pause button, because we're pretty much just kind of based on like the ISAs and the leads timeframes based on when they call and connect with people. We don't have like a flag where we flag someone's account and it's like, hey, no calling their account today right now. That
I would say let's pause the ad spend, right? We can turn the ad spend off for those days, right?
Yep, exactly.
And then let me get you another agent's contact info. What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, the best way would just be email us and say, hey, I want to put another agent on my account, and just give the best name, phone, and email.
And who do I email?
It's going to be support@amassestate.io. Let me go ahead and text it over to you here real quick.
Okay. And then I've got my first closing with you guys on November 7th.
Oh, awesome. Nice. What's the price point?
Price is $325.
Nice. That is awesome. That's great to hear. And what are you looking at typically, like 2.5, 3%? What's your market's average?
Yeah, they negotiated a 2.5% rate.
Nice. Awesome. And do you have a lot of other people in the pipeline too, or is that just kind of the only one
I don't. That's the only one that has been serious. I mean, I got a new lead Friday that I'm trying to show some properties to this week, and I got a new lead this morning that, you know, in the next 6 months may transpire.
Yeah. What's the name?
It's Daniel Thompson. He was one of the very first lead live transfers.
I want to see what ad they came through. I see 2 Daniels here. Do you know if his phone starts?
It was.
Oh, I see it. Let's see what ad he came through.
Yeah, August 25th.
He came through the first campaign and the home starting at 1. So he came through this ad here. Let's see. I can pull it up for you. So first campaign. So this would have been the exact ad that he came through. Let me screen share. Can you see this here?
Yeah.
So attention, Meridian home buyers looking to buy your next dream. Facebook has this issue where it cuts off the text for some reason, but something, we create an exclusive free list homes in Meridian starting 400K. Click learn more below. And it was basically just homes for sale starting at 400K, best deals not found on Zillow, and then just a collage of homes there.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, that is good to know for feedback on our end, because the main thing is obviously we can look at the ads all day, but it's super important when you guys get good transfers or good leads in the door like that, because what that'll allow us to do is kind of put numbers aside a little bit and be like, okay, let's say that, sure, maybe that cost per lead is a little bit higher, but if that's where deal's coming from, then like it doesn't matter, you know?
Okay. And so I guess my follow-up question to that is, do you have a referral form so that I can give that to my transaction coordinator?
Yeah, so
because I think the commission on that's only going to be like $1,600, the 20% split of 325 at 2.5%.
yeah, it depends what you want to do. So if you want to do that, I'll get back to the team and I'll send that over to you, and that'll be super simple. If you want to upgrade to our other plan, though, you can waive that. So it just kind of depends what you'd want to do. If you have anything you want to think about, or you just know you want to.
And remind me what I think you had texted me some.
Yeah, so I think, let me check. I know we're doing something in October, so I don't know if we've already started it, but we typically do kind of like an October thing. But let me see here. I know last time we spoke, I mentioned you something, and we'll probably just grandfather you in for that. So yeah, so I text you over. So originally it's 3,500. We've actually raised our prices since then. It's actually 3,900. But if you upgrade, we knock 600 off of that 3,500. So bring it down to 2,900. What would you get would be 5 prepaid transfers. So 5 transfers out of the gate are just prepaid off of that. It lowers your live transfer fee from 150 all the way down to 87. So after your first 5, the 6th one would be 87. You're locked in at that price, grandfathered in at 87 instead of 150. And then the big one is you get rid of your transaction fee. So you basically get rid of that entire 20% transaction fee. So you can kind of look at it as basically 1,600 off of that full price if you wanted to. And then you also lock yourself in at a guarantee as well, 4-month guarantee, 4 deals under contract. And if you don't, we basically just work for free until you do, regardless. So you lock yourself into a lot of stuff there. Basically 2 discounts, the live transfer discount, and then the 0 transaction fee and a guarantee.
So does that 4-month start when I convert, or does that start from the beginning?
Yep, that would just start from when you convert, exactly.
Okay.
We just send over a different agreement.
Yeah, I think we should probably do that. Let's do the conversion.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Okay. I do. Sorry, I'm running over. I'm all over the place on Mondays. I do have to run to another call here. We're 3 minutes over. What I'll go ahead and do is text you the next steps on that. I know we obviously already have. Are you just going to want to use the payment method that you have on file for that?
No, I'll probably do a separate one.
Okay, perfect. Then we'll shoot you over a form, and then we'll get that taken care of. I'll shoot you over the other agreement, and then if we need anything else, I'll let you know. But I can text you over the details, and then to note down, I have the meeting recording, but just a reminder: when are you going to be leaving, and when do you get back from your trip?
Yeah, we get back Monday the 4th, but it's like midnight Monday. So I think that's our next appointment time.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's honestly perfect. And obviously you might be a little bit jet lagged.
Oh, we don't get in until Monday night at midnight. So.
Oh yeah. So we can move that to either Tuesday or Wednesday. So I
probably need to move that from Monday to, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. I'm just going to move us over to Tuesday evening for now. And if that time doesn't work that I reschedule us in for, we'll just chat about that and get that fixed. When do you leave though? You said the 24th, right?
The 25th, Saturday the 25th. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. And you said that was for your daughter's wedding, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Like New Zealand is like, that's insane. Like that is going to be like an amazing wedding spot. One of my buddies, he kind of did a wedding like that where it's a bit of a travel, and
she lives there. It's not necessarily a destination wedding, but she lives there.
Okay.
She's going to school there. He lives there. So.
Oh wow, that's so cool. That's like the furthest you can like get on the map possible. You cannot get any further.
I do have a scuba diving trip planned while we're there, so it should be fun.
That's gonna be a blast, man.
I know you got to run, so.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. I'll shoot you over a text. I know we talked about a lot. We didn't get like a ton of stuff finalized, but we'll make sure we're communicating with you. I noted down that stuff for you, and then other than that, we'll take it from there. If you need anything, just reach out to us. I'll be reaching out to you about that conversion and just double checking any kind of next steps and things along those lines, and we will take it from there, man.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. See you, Matt.